Okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Alrighty, cool. Gotta settle down for a second because I was just fine until like 10 seconds ago. Because I'm being recorded. Oh no. Um, I'm really kind of excited. I've never been recorded before. I'm sure when I listen to this later, I will go, that I do not sound like that. Why do I sound like that? Why didn't I do something else? Oh well, I'm just me. Um, did I introduce myself yet? My name is Leanne. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an addict. I am an addict to just about anything that will uh, distract me from myself and my problems for more than about 3 seconds. Um, and let's see, I have a sobriety date. We were all doing uh, number of days. I have 36 years, 11 months, and 10 days. That's 13,495 days, one day at a time. Ooh, I know, it's so impressive. Believe me, no one is more impressed with my sobriety than I am, um, or shocked for that matter. um, I used to sit and listen to people who were leading, and they have my kind of time, and I thought, they get there because they had it easy. They were not pressed, stressed, anguished enough like I was, and it did not have to endure what I've had to endure. And I can guarantee you, uh, we all have endured the same things. It's not everything is, what stresses me out may not be what stresses you out, but the emotions and the levels of stress that we go through in getting sober, they all match. They all match. Uh, it is grueling sometimes, and sometimes it's easy, but most of the time it's just work. It's a lot of work every day. And, it's kind of like if you've ever had a job for a long time, I have not. The longest I've ever had a job is about 3 or 4 years. But all of a sudden, one day you realize, oh my God, I've been here this long. Wow. And sobriety is the same way. All of a sudden, wow, I got 30 days. Hey, I got 3 months. Holy cow, I can't believe I've got a year. I've got 3 years. Holy shit, who'd have thunk it? Um, the biggest thing I want to say to you today is that you can do this. You can do this with a God, without a God, with religion, without religion. Um, where there is a will, there is a way. We're all trying to swim up the same river. We just got to find our own way to do it. Some people like to dog paddle. Some people like to, I don't know, breaststroke or something. And others, are smart enough to find, a rubber dinghy and a paddle and get, move along that way. Um, most all of us use all different types of way to get ourselves through this thing we call recovery. Um, what else? Um, I was 24 when I got sober. I had divorced my first husband. I had my first child already, and I lived in uh, low income housing, which is not a crime. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that I was drunk so much of the time that I could not keep a job. I was not employable. I was not able to be a friend. I was not able to be a wife. All this stuff just disintegrated. Everything fell through my fingers. Um, and I couldn't understand why. What is wrong with people? What is their problem that they don't like me? Well, It took a long time to realize they don't like me because I'm usually drunk. Okay. Alcohol was my number one uh, addiction. However, it's not my main problem. But I had to, until I got through the addiction problems, my other problems did not resolve at all. Um, so let's see, where was I? I'm 24 and yeah, I'm living on my own. I decided it was either get a job or go to school. So I decided to go to school because nobody wants to do a job, right? Anyway, um, and I started college. It took me 4 years to get a 2 year degree. Um, but after about a year into college, I decided, you know what, maybe this would work better if I actually quit drinking. Because soon as I got around, because I found somebody in one of my classes who she said she was sober. I'm like, what is sober? I didn't even know that you could purposely stay sober. And so I hung out with her and she went to meetings and we started doing all this stuff. And found out that there was a whole little clique of people at this college that were all sober, and I hung around with them. They're the ones who taught me how to be sober. It was very, very much like this meeting where we all come together and we're all just kind of like hanging out and talking and I don't know what the hell we're doing, but let's do it every day. Um, so anyway, um, let's see. So, somebody that's been sober for more than 30 years, I'm like, dude, what the hell have you been doing all this time? You got steps and you got uh, traditions and there's service work and there's all these other things. Okay, that's great. You've been doing all that for 30 years? Kinda. Yeah. What it does, as far as step work goes, you start to learn how to do step work. Um, just like, oh, by the way, I love metaphors. This will be chock full of metaphors, okay? Just so you know. But when you start school as a child, what does everything begin with? A, B, C. You learn how to read, you're learning how to read, how to write, how to, what letters are, things of this nature. By the time you graduate from school, from primary school, you know these things, and you're not only just reading and writing, you're using these to express yourself, you're using to write and produce something creative. And sobriety is like that. And if you're already doing that in sobriety, you're doing it right. You are doing it right. Because that's the nice thing about sobriety is that you don't have to be sober a certain length of time to get it or to do it or to have benefits from it, anything like that. If you're sober today, you're going to benefit from it today. Um, let's see, what else? I got, I graduated from college. I found Mr. Right. Um, I took one look at these incredibly blue eyes, and then I didn't know he was going to be Mr. Right. I just knew he was going to be Mr. Next. Okay. And so we dated for like 4 years. Um, and then we got married. And anyway, the whole relationship lasted about 15 years and then we got divorced. So I've been married, I've been divorced, and I got married again because after 15 years with this lovely man who actually he was really very nice. He was my um, partner in crime is what we everybody just loved us. We were the sober couple in the meetings and um, he was my best friend. And one day I realized now I know why this is not working. He's a guy. Turns out I'm not into guys. Okay? What was a Turns out that what was a phase in college was not a phase at all. And then I have a t-shirt that says this, and then I met this woman. Um, she and I were together from the get-go. We've been together 22 years. We got married as soon as we were legally able to. If you're still in a country that doesn't allow uh, same-sex marriages, I feel for you, but never give up the fight. Um, and God, I'm leaving out all the stuff that I said I had been, all the stuff that caused me all the heartache, all the everything, just because I do one of those things. It's like once I get into it, I don't stop and I get into minor details that are not important, kind of like what I'm doing now. Um, since I've been sober, I have discovered that um, I have Asperger's. Uh, I took one of my sons is ADHD, had severe behavior disorders, things of this nature. And while no one was looking, I'm looking at one of his tests that he took, and I'm answering the answers, the questions. And uh, the threshold score is a 30. If you score 30 points on this test, means that you would benefit from treatment and possibly medication and all this other stuff. I scored a 28. Um, and that's just because I was lying. And that has always made it very difficult for me um, to have close friends. I can be friendly, I can have friends within a group, but to have really close people that I can count on and that count on me, it doesn't work like that for me. Um, I always wondered what was wrong with other people. It's not other people, it's me. And there's nothing wrong with me. It's just I'm different. So today we call it neurodivergent. That's one thing I love is that back in the day, we were just weird. You were odd, you know? And today we have language that describes these things. You're not weird, you're neurodivergent. You're not strange. You have a neurological condition because I don't look at it as a disorder. It's a condition. So I have to work within those confines, but I don't have to let it hold me back. Um, I started doing steps. I got a sponsor. Um, I I will say that she told me three things. She says, "You're going to call me every day, no relationships within the first year, and no major decisions within the first year." I said, okay, no problem. I didn't call her till 3 weeks later to let her know that I was engaged, I was moving, and yeah, life was rolling on. Um, Now eventually I found all that stuff led to problems, which by the way, I want to let you know, if you screw up in the program, if you do things that your sponsor doesn't suggest, if you do things that is not suggested in the big book, I'm a bit of a thumper myself, okay? I'm sorry. It's just how I learned. Um, even that, I think it's only because there wasn't anything else back then, way back when, um, in horse and buggy day. Um, if you fail to follow these suggestions, you don't have to drink. If you somehow screw up your life in recovery, which I have done time and time again, you don't have to get high. It hurts, it's painful, but I have learned that anytime that my life is so painful that I can't stand it, it's because I am learning. I am learning to do better. Learning to do better makes me extremely uncomfortable. Never hurt so bad means I never had so much to learn. Um, that, sorry, I got distracted there. How it goes. My head goes places, and it's like, no, can't take them with me. Um, but I have had times. Okay, tell you what, we are 15 minutes in, and I have a timer going. I have to time myself, or else I will talk all night. I am not kidding you. Um, I am a big talker. I love to talk about myself. Leading combines the thing I hate the most with the thing I love the best, which is talking about myself, unfortunately, in front of a whole group of people. Um, and I want to tell you about, I want to talk about God, okay? Because I got into the meetings and I heard all the God stuff. Oh shit, heard all the God stuff. Um, and I'm like, this is church. That's all it is. This is church. It's just different places, different books, different things. And then, they pass the basket around. I went, uh-huh, church. See that? They have a book that they, you know, damn near religiously rely on. Uh-huh, church. I've been there. I've done that. Um, and I'm like, I can do this, but I can't do the God thing. I cannot do the God thing. And it, people who were supporting me said, okay, so you can't do the God thing. That's all right. You don't have to. Just believe in something that is greater than you. You know, my sponsor said, I have a power greater than myself. I don't know what it is. All I know is that it's not me. Hmm. I said, okay, I can do that. Um, and I read the big book one day and come upon this phrase. Um, I'm sure somebody knows where this is. I think it's how it works. But anyway, it says, who was I to say that there was no God? And that set me down. I'm like, oh, wow, never thought of it that way. Okay, so I developed a higher power. Okay. And there's this thing in the big book about electricity that there's anymore we are so dependent on electricity. You flip the switch and you just know it's going to light up the room. Okay. And they had told me, I had heard stuff about if you want to make the lamppost your higher power, we don't care. Just have one. Okay. So outside my apartment was this lamppost. And every day I would leave my apartment and go out and do whatever I was doing. I'm look out and there's the lamppost outside. I'm like, bye God. And then I would come home like, hi God, how you doing? And after several months, I realized that there were only certain times that the lamppost was functioning. When it was dark, I would see it. When it wasn't dark, it just looked like a stick sticking out of the ground, right? One night, I got into trouble because I wasn't doing what is suggested. And I knew that I had to go back and retrace my steps and see what I had misunderstood or done incorrectly and try again. Um, don't drink, just try again. Okay. So I called this woman and she had 103 years of sobriety. She was this kind of local old timer guru. And I later found out that she had no clue who I was when I told her my name. I had talked to her maybe half a dozen times. She didn't remember me for nothing. But anyway, she talked to me like she had been my friend for decades. Um, and I said, I can't get this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I hurt so bad. And I'm like, I'm trying to do the step work. I'm trying to do right. I'm trying to um, live my life better. I said, but God, it's just, I just can't get it. And it's not easy and all those other complaints. And she all of a sudden said, honey, sobriety is not bloodless. It's a bloody, messy process. It doesn't go step one, step two, step three, like you're building Lego blocks on top of each other. It's a bunch of mud that you just mush it all together and see what you come up with and try and if it doesn't look good, you reshape it again. Um, and then she says, this is what I want you to do. She says, number one, screw poverty. Screw poverty. Poverty of the soul, poverty of your bank account, poverty of whatever kind of poverty you got, whatever you're lacking. I said, oh, okay. Well, that hit with me. And she says, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to your window and throw open the curtains and just yell, screw poverty. And she was like, okay, and I love you and take care and bye bye. Okay. And she hung up and I was like, wait a minute, but my problems. Um, so I sat there and first I had a good cry and then I got up and I went to the window and I did exactly what she said. And as I grabbed the curtains, I was like, how did she know the curtains were closed? And I threw open those curtains and I said those words, and there's my light post, and it's shining. And I just dissolved. I didn't know what I was gonna. My head exploded. My life exploded. Everything was different. Everything changed. It's my literally my white light moment. Um, and yet it doesn't have anything to do with God, and yet it does. I think what it is, this God thing, instead of the word God, you have to, what it is you have to have connection. And it's not with other people. You're not going to find it in friends. You're not going to find it in relatives. It's connection with myself. And that has been the key. Um, and even though it's like I don't understand it, that electricity, there's a power and a way that it works and it flows and sometimes, uh, something bunches it up and then all of a sudden we get a power outage. Okay, and everything goes bad and you got to start all over again. That is sobriety. Sobriety is like that. You have not fucked up. You have not made a mistake. It just, you tried something and it didn't work. Let's go back and try again. Um, and the thing that I always use to try again with is steps. After you do the steps so much, so often, so many times, it becomes like shorthand and you travel faster and faster and faster. And pretty soon, anymore, I don't even have to write this stuff down to know what's going on. It's like A plus B equals C. And oh, well, no wonder I feel like shit. Um, as far as, the rest of the God thing, I am an atheist. Okay. I am 100%. I do not believe in deities. I don't believe in anything supernatural. I don't believe in, uh, yeah, I'm not Wiccan. I'm not a witch. I'm not Christian. I'm not Buddhist. I'm not anything. There are things of all these different things. There's aspects of it I like, and I incorporate that into my life, but that's just because it's my own belief, not because I follow something. Um, I know that for me, the last vestige of my Christian upbringing left when I realized the only reason why I'm hanging on to any of this stuff is because I'm afraid to go to hell. I am afraid that I'm going to, what if the hell is real? What if, all this other stuff? And finally I went, fuck that. If there is a hell, I will go. If there's a heaven, I don't want to be any part of it. I don't know what all this stuff is, but I don't like it, and I will not be held hostage by it. And I had had enough, and I stepped through that door free. And one thing that that has done for me is that is that uh, it has put all the responsibility for my life back on me. Because I remember when we decided to get married, I was like, oh, okay, God, I guess this is where we're going now. No, no, because I knew in my heart, it's like, I may be in love, but I don't think this is the right thing to do. But God said, God did this. And, that was a 15-year detour from who I am. I'm just lucky I made it back. But see, that's just it, is that if you stay sober, if you stay clean, you got a chance. Long as I was clean and sober, I had a chance to be more of myself each and every day, little by little. I have a plaque um, in my house. It's real little, it's only like this big, but it says little and often make much. And to me, sobriety is like that. It's not these huge leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds do happen, but on the day-to-day basis, it's a thousand little things. It's systemic. It's um and it the pain that you will feel in recovery takes me somewhere. It doesn't lead me down. It leads me further down the path. All right. Um, I have so many things I want to share with you. I have so much stuff I that obviously I can't pack it all into just a few minutes. Um, I kind of anymore in my elder statesmanship, as they say. Um, One of the things I like to do is to kind of be the historian. You know what? Things were one way when I came in, and now they're different. And it's not an idea of, well, you young kids and you and your crazy go-go things. Um, Back in my day, back in horse and buggy, uphill, both ways, 10 feet of snow, all that kind of stuff. No, I'm just saying, trying to give perspective about this is the way it is now in 10 months, 10 years, 10 weeks, whatever. It's going to be different. Life goes on. It will be different. There's a lot of things that I love about recovery and AA that weren't like that back in the day. Like, I was getting ready tonight and I'm like, ooh, I got to leave. And I'm all, I've never been recorded and yada, yada. Um, and Bex asked me, do you have any aftercare or set up for yourself? Are you going to, like she's asking me, are you going to be good to yourself after this? Do you think you will be okay? She was concerned because sometimes after you lead, you feel like shit. And I've had that happen. I have led sometimes and I think about the shit that I said and I'm like, oh my God, I might as well have just, hung my ass out there for everybody to see. Um, and, and it happens. And the thing I'm telling you is it happens to you, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. Never in so much pain, never had so much to learn. Don't do things like that, Leanne. It just seems so stupid, but it's so simple. Um, so yeah, so the historian thing. And another thing that I love is that, yeah, we have language today. You used to, and I love, oh, the other thing, I love that you guys celebrate, you know, the days. You do the day counting. I love that. I got 30 days. I got 6 days. I got 300 days. I got whatever. And, if you had 2 weeks, when I came in, they're like, you only got 2 weeks. Sit down. You only got 5 days. Sit down and be quiet. And there is so much, and that's even in the face-to-face meetings anymore. People are kinder. People are stronger. And I love that they do that. I don't go to a whole lot of face-to-face meetings anymore because and I am grieving this change. AA meetings used to be exactly like this meeting. Exactly. You don't talk about a whole lot about God. You talk about your higher power. You talk about what's important to you. You talk about how you're feeling. When I came in and said, "Oh, my boyfriend's doing this, or he's doing that, or she's doing whatever," and those people, they're mean to me. Um, Nobody listened. Nobody listened. But when I came in and I said, "I hurt, I'm tired, I I am sad, I am lonely, I am whatever it was, I'm happy, I'm excited." When I started talking truly about what was going on inside of me, everybody put down and listened. And they were right there for me. But I didn't understand that they're not interested in the events of my life. They're interested in me. I'd never had that before. Never, ever. Um, and that has been true since day one. It was the first time that not only were people interested in me, I learned how to be interested in them. I'm not asking you about how your job's going or if your car's running or anything. I'm like, how do you feel today? How are you today? Are you okay? How close to a drink are you today? How far away? Cool. Um, don't know what to do? I don't know either. Let's go to a meeting and find out. So, all right, I've hit 30 minutes, so I'm going to stop. Um, I try and keep a timer going so that, there's something that will put a something that will stop this force majeure. I want to thank everybody for being a part of this meeting because you guys don't realize how much you mean to me. All you got to do is be here. All you got to do is show up. We don't have to be buddies or exchange recipes or anything like this. Um, I'm so, so grateful because these secular meetings have saved my life because I was lost in the regular meetings and I was beginning to be ostracized because unfortunately a bunch of people have taken over and weaponized a belief system that used to have value and used to be credible. And it's sad. It's really sad to see those kind of changes, but that's okay. You know, that stupid saying where one door closes, another one opens. Here we are. Here we are. Life finds a way. Life breaks free. So, and you got to grab it, honey, because it travels fast and light. Alrighty. So with that, I just want to say thanks again. I love all you guys. And that's it. That's all for me.